Right, settle down class, settle down class. Professor Matt is here. Time for our next lesson. And I do want to apologise for the fact of lack of videos as of lately. This has been down to IRL being an absolute nightmare. I can only really put out a video a week at the moment. Yes, the last part of the Set 9 list is on its way. I've recorded it, I just need to edit it. But those take a lot more editing time. Whereas this video is going to be a very easy edit. And I had to kind of prioritize this because this is the ban list prediction video for the upcoming Wednesday stream. So I do need to actually prioritize this for this part. You will very likely get the Set 9 lists the following week. And as you can see, we've got a new classroom finally. So I do want to give a big thank to Miss for the lovely classroom. It's absolutely beautiful. I love all my books. And really nice to look at. It's me, I think, is the best response. So let's get into the video. And as I did briefly mention, this is going to be my ban list prediction video. So, as people know, with the 3 monthly product streams, they do tie in the ban list announcements. Sometimes it's no announcements, sometimes it's a lot of announcements, sometimes it's a little bit of announcements. Now, as for my predictions, I honestly don't see them doing a ban list whatsoever. This is down to the sheer fact of both Japan and English are currently both mid-tournament scenes. We've got the Bushiroad Springfest on the English side, and we've got the Vanguard Deluxe on the Japanese side, leading up to Daivangasai. So I do personally feel that there's not going to be any ban list changes, but that wouldn't make much of a video if I just said that. So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss what I feel, if they are going to do changes, what they are going to hit. And we're going to go in the order of premium, in B premium, and then finishing up with standard. So starting off with premium, and there is the one big elephant in the room of ride downs. So for those that don't know what ride downs are, there are certain grade 3s that allow you to ride up to a grade 4 in your main deck, which you can then remove them out with your soul, and then when you would go to ride down back to the grade 3 at the end of the turn, there's no grade 3, so you then select a viable target. These decks are Lambros, which is ridden up from Tharvas. We have got Steam Maidens, and we have also got Bermuda Triangle. To a lesser extent, we have got Nightmare Dolls, but they aren't so much of a ride down for the terms of you riding up to a grade 3 and riding back down. This is due to the fact of Carol lets you pick any worker rod from within your soul to ride into. So the reason why the previous 3 are more prominent is for the fact of they're generating multiple markers. Not so much in the multiple markers in terms of Gear Chronicle, but both Bermuda and Aquaforce are distributing themselves multiple markers and then riding back down to deny stride and then ride back up again and do the same loop again and again and again. Steam Maidens don't generate more than one marker, but it's more the fact of the amount of pressure they provide due to the fact of the Enterana and Cat. The get-go, then you get to go up into the Force, get your grade 4, and then go back down into your grade 2, and then go from there. So we do need to address ride downs. Now, I know people are saying wait for History Collection because that's going to deal with ride downs. But personally, if they do want to deal with it sooner rather than later so we can actually have a healthy Springfest format, I do feel what we need to have is we need to adopt the tie rules for striding. And that says if your opponent has rode up to grade 3 in the game, you may then stride. So those that ride down don't stop your opponent from striding. Best way to put it. This would deal with the ride down decks and promote a healthier format. As for banning cards, I'd rather wait if they're going to do the stride list, the stride ruling change, and see what the meta develops to post that, and then address with a ban list from there. And I'm going to ask for the umpteenth time. Please, Bushy Road, unrestrict Masquerade Master Harry with Nightmare Doll Alice. I want my full-powered Harry back, please. I would obviously go further and say, can you unrestrict Perrot and Purple Pieces, but that's never going to happen. Then we move on to V Premium. And there's the obvious one big elephant in the room for V Premium, and that is Steam Maidens. Obviously, we had the hit to the Mellows Amusement Colossus, and it did per se help because Steam Maidens actually had a bit of competition. We now did see from BRO results, we had Luard, Arn, Leopold. We had other, and Night Rose. Night Rose got 2 tops. We had other things competing with Steam Maidens. But Steam Maidens still took a big, huge chunk of the top. Worlds, Steam Maidens still took a lot of the tops. So it does need an additional hit. And at this point, it's going to have to be the Enterana. Now, I don't want it to go straight to 0. Because then that just kills off Steam Maidens. Personally speaking, I'd rather see them put Enterana to either 1 or 2. So you've still got that little bit of consistency in the deck, but you're not then outright killing the deck. And then obviously, post BSF, if there needs to be another hit to Steam Maidens because it's still dominating even that, then Enterana can fully go. I don't agree in fully killing off the deck without giving it a chance at the weakened power to see how it's done. As for other things in V Premium, now honestly, V Premium needs a nuke of a ban list. But I wouldn't want to do that mid BSF season. I'd rather than do the big nuke of the ban list once we've had our BSF and Deluxe, and just literally nuke everything in the form. But Steam Maidens do need hitting down no matter what. And then we come back round to Standard. So for those that keep coming to the Japanese side, we did have our first Deluxe this past weekend. And the 3 most prominent decks was Chronojet Dragon, Alter Ego Messiah, and Eva. So Messiah was more likely the popularity because obviously it's the brand new product. But then we need to look at Eva and Chronojet, because both of those have been very prominent in the majority of the JP season. Eva's been around for quite a while for us. We haven't had the results yet, because obviously Worlds for us was prior to Set 8. But we've already seen the BSF, the first weekend of BSF in Toronto, and Eva took a lot of the spot. So we are starting to see that prominence. I don't see these hits coming to English yet, because obviously we've literally only just got Chronojet, and we've not got enough results yet with Eva. What I do see happening on the Japanese side is a hit to both of those decks, just to bring them down in power level. But we're going to start off by looking at what Eva needs to have hits, because honestly, it's a lot easier because the lists are a lot more streamlined. Now, for those that have seen WCC's video, Ty's talked about putting Experiment Henceforth all the way to 1. And I personally don't agree with that whatsoever. Because what you're doing by removing that all the way to 1 is going, the moment you use this, you've literally got to cycle it back to deck, redraw it again to have your protection for your obstacle dates. I do agree it is a very strong card, but I do not think it is a limit 1 worthy card. Personally speaking, I'd put it to 2. Because it still creates the fact of they've got to add other copies of the grade 2 order in, because they're not going to run all 6 orders, because won't last. But you've still got that bit of extra protection deck, which is what the deck's meant to be built around. It is a tanky defensive deck, because you've got the top checks every turn, You've got the obstacle days for the extra shield. It is meant to be a tanky deck. So having that bit of protection for it is really nice. Plus, they are introducing cards that get around the Ever protection. Like we got the new Stoicheia Grade 2 the other day that literally says your opponent's front row doesn't target. They're stunned, they can't intercept. Count as Ever. You've got stuff that straight up targets the circles and gets rid of the cards like Shadow Doji that deals with Ever. There is more than enough. They are introducing ways that are dealing with Ever's order that I don't think it needs to go completely out of the game. But that honestly is the only thing they could really hit in Ever, because the deck is so flexible in its grade 1s, grade 2 slots that if you literally went and hit something, they could easily replace it and there'd still not be too much of an issue. So that is the weak point of the deck, and I think that's the one they need to hit. And then we move to everyone's favourite problem child, the Chrono Jet Dragon. Now this is where things get interesting, because you ideally can't hit anything from the Stride deck set. But it's still got product shelf life, and hitting anything in that makes it a non-viable product for people to pick up and play with. Which then brings you around to which tech options. So the ones that are being played around with on the JP side are Brainwash Swirler, Falsate Performer, we've got Gunganram, and the newest addition with set 9 is Sargon. Now Sargon's not seeing much play on the JP side. This has been more something that EN's been mucking around with. So I don't see Sargon being touched. So that then brings us back to our big three culprits of all: Soul Charge, Soul Charge, Soul Charge. Now I don't think it's going to be Brainwash Swirlers again, personally. And the reason behind that is because people are starting to cut back on the Brainwash Swirlers. Because in a grade 2 gaming format, you're not going to be getting the full effect out of Brainwash Swirler, because he needs you to be on grade 3 to gain the plus 5k for everything you soul charge. So I think it's more going to be on lines of they're going to look at either Falsate or they're going to look at Gunganram. Personally speaking, I feel it's going to be Gunganram they choice restrict with Chrono Jet Dragon. Now the reason behind this is more for his second effect of the Soul Blast 3 draw a card. Because what it's doing is a combination of having GG and Gunganram in your deck gives you 8 extra grade 1s that got Soul Blast draw card. And Gunganram's Soul Blast 3 draw card isn't locked to on place either. So removing this, honestly, is the option I see them going with. Because it reduces the draw power and tries to it's going to try and force people to not do the grade 2 gaming. Especially with us now moving to this Masks format, where Masks also want to ideally be going second to grade 3 so they can get their Persona Rod on the first grade 3 turn. So I think Bushy's starting to realise that the grade 2 gaming's come back and they want to try and deal with it. But we'll have to wait and see how they do it. And that's going to be it for this class. If you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe. It very much does help the channel. Let me know in the comments down below. What is your opinions on the ban list? What are my takes? What do you think I've missed? And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.